Hello everyone, in this video we are going to solder the 4T module. It's a module that has 4 toggle switches. Let's start. Okay, I will start with the LEDs. It's this component. Let's open it. Okay, so each LED has a little green dot, and if you flip it, has this horizontal dash, and this indicates the ground side of the LED. And on the PCB, there is also this dash here next to the LED pad, and this also indicates the ground or the negative side of the LED. So let's start by placing a little bit of solder on one of the pads, just a little bit. And first LED with the green dot looking to the dash. This is very important because if we miss this step, the LED won't shine. Okay, now rotate the board and solder the other pad. Just retouching this solder here. And this one here looks good. Now flip the board and let's start by the LED resistors. Now this value can be different from the one I'm using here. In here I'm using 2K resistors, but this is totally optional, and this value can be different. Okay, in this case the number is 202. These are 2K resistors. Okay, once again I'm going to place a little bit of solder only on the LED resistors, just to avoid skipping any thing or placing the wrong component on the wrong pad. Okay. Now, I know that the LED resistor should come where it says 1K. Okay, now let's go to the capacitor. It's where it has a label with 100N for nanofarads. And the capacitors is this brown component. Okay, you don't need to worry with polarity because both capacitors, these kind of capacitors, ceramic capacitors, and these resistors don't have polarity, so you can solder them in any orientation. And now let's go for the resistor, pull down resistor for the switch. Okay, and now, oops, okay, there was a missing solder here. I haven't soldered the LED resistors. Okay. Looks good. Now it's time for the connector, and I placed just a little bit of solder on the first pad, and now it's important to keep the connector aligned both vertically and horizontally. And I'm heating the solder and placing the connector, leave it a little bit until it stays right on the right position. Now let's just solder the remaining pads. Okay, looks good. And the toggle switches are placed like this. And now I'm going to solder one at a time just to certify that it is well aligned. Otherwise, it can be like this, or even like this, and we don't want this. We want it to be really well aligned. Okay, so for this, I'm putting this PVC underneath just to give it some space. And I'm going to solder only one of the pads. And I can verify that it's not well aligned, but if I hit the solder joint, I can move it and make it perfectly aligned. And now I can solder the remaining pads. Okay, let's go to the next one. Like this. Let's solder the first pad. Okay, we can see that it's not well aligned. Now I'm going to do exactly the same. I'm gonna hit the solder joint until it's perfectly aligned. Now, because these toggle switches are a little bit high, I'm gonna use these PVC bits to give me some clearance, and this way I can solder the remaining pads. Okay, the next one. Let's do exactly the same. And finally, okay, and this is it. We just need to test it to see if everything is okay. Okay, I'm just powering the module with positive and negative voltage, and the LEDs are well soldered, everything's working. Okay, thanks for watching. See you on the next video.